Okay, this is going to be one of those short little videos. I'm going to call them technique videos. It's just about how to do one certain thing so you can review those anytime you want to. This is going to be about using packing tape to mask. Some of you will like this and some of you will prefer not to do it. Okay, oops. Well, first thing you have to do is make sure your cutting tool is available. This is a single edge razor blade, and I got this, they carry this regularly at Walmart. They cost almost nothing, and I keep them around for everything. This is 99-cent packing tape from Walmart. I'm sure you find all these things other places too. This is where I happen to go. It's right down the road from me. Okay, so be sure you fold over the end of that or you'll never find it. Okay, here we go. Well, this is just a little bit sticky. Okay, and I don't want to damage my paper. So what I'm going to do, now if you've got a bunch of hand cream on your arm, don't do this, but a little bit of skin oil or hair or just loose skin, whatever. This is how I do it, and it's not backfired on me on making my painting oily, but you might want to try to find some other kind of surface. But this just makes it a little less sticky because this stuff is really, really sticky. Now, I could decide, because I'm brilliantly prepared as usual. Let's try this. This is water soluble. This isn't the best thing for it. But I could decide that I wanted to draw where I was going to put my little shape here. So maybe that's it. Maybe there's a little thing here. Now you know this isn't dark enough, but it's just a demonstration piece. Okay, here's the thing about a sharp razor blade. And you notice I just pulled the wrapper off of this. This is totally unused, so it's very, very sharp. That's what you want. You don't want a semi-dull tool thinking that, well, I don't want to damage the paper with something sharp. In principle, it works just the opposite. The sharper this is, the less damage you're going to do to your paper. If you take some pre-used dull old X-Acto knife, you'll probably damage your paper. And this does require a light touch. I can feel it dragging against the paper here. So I know I'm cutting through. Now, if you've got some neuropathy or something, this is probably not the technique for you. But this will get you an edge that is really neat and clean. And I'll give you another tip about using a razor blade. Because of the long blade on it like this instead of a little swivelly tip, you can do longer, smoother curves. I used to drive people nuts because I could cut masks that were really like smooth, clean edges to outline, like plates and cups and things like that. And the fact is, it was because I was using a razor blade and it stabilizes your hand. Okay, so let's very gently get this started here somewhere. Whoop, I had got my paper. Okay, well, I really showed off well there. It's a lot easier. Okay, I'll show you another way to use this that's a lot easier. But here I've got to pull this little thing up out of the middle. Here we go. I chunked into it twice. It wasn't good at all. All right, so now I'm going to take my lifting brush, and you should be using clean water. Oh dear, planned ahead again. Okay, work from the outer edge towards the center. You know, don't push it that way against the edges. And blot. Now, there's even a trick to pulling the tape up safely. Hold on. Okay, I dried the area that I was working on, but more importantly, I got the tape warm. Tape comes up more easily warm. And then can you see that I'm pulling way back in the opposite direction? I'm not sure that I've got quite all of this. Nope, I missed a whole bunch of it. Here we go. Gently pull way back in the opposite direction. Still got more on here. I think I left my tape just a little bit too sticky. So I'm looking at the shine. Okay, finally, there. So I got it lifted. I would say that I should have tapped it to my arm twice instead of once, and it would have worked better. So let's do a different area. Let's mask around something. This is a lot easier. And this is where people that do like like those cars with all the highlights and glass and stuff. This is one way you can handle that. So I'm going to do my arm process twice this time. Here. Make it come up a little easier. So there'll be a little hair caught in there. Works great. Okay. So let's just say that I'm going to mask out this apple. Or let's say I'm going to mask the apple off and do the background. Okay. Somebody will experiment with that and find something better than the back of your arm to use. Please let us all know. I'm sure there's something, I just haven't looked. I can actually hear my razor blade hitting the paper. I'm able to go exactly to the outside of that line. again, I'm using very, very little pressure. Okay, let's heat it up with the hairdryer. Oops. Oh, wrong part. Okay. Now again, peel back away. Now when you're working with something larger instead of those little bitty spots there, this is definitely an advantage. If you're doing, I chose before to use stencil material to do these, and this is probably the better choice, but you can do it this way. But here, for an area like that, there's just nothing that works cleaner or better than doing it this way. So let's just pick up some color. I don't know. I don't even care what. Let's see what I've got here. I haven't used this color like in forever. This is an opaque green. By the way, we're going to do something neat with opaque colors in the next, with the next project. So I could put all kinds of heavy color down here, whatever I wanted. I find this a lot easier if you want a nice clean edge than if you were working with masking fluid. Okay, I just dried it. See how clean that was? I learned that watching a guy named Dave Maxwell at an SWA meeting. He used to do all those cars with all the little highlights and everything, and a lot of extreme, not detail, but well, kind of. Anyway, that was the main way that he handled it, and it just works beautifully. And the materials are cheap. So, oh, the only other thing that I didn't say, was that when you're putting down tape, and this time I'm just going to lay down some masking tape. That tape was very sticky still, and it held a good clean line. But a lot of the time when you're putting down tape, maybe take your thumbnail, the back of your thumbnail, or a spoon or something, and just burnish down just the very edge of where you're working. This is especially true with masking tape because it's not near as sticky. Again, though, it's better to pull masking tape up when it's warm, just to make sure you don't tear your paper. If you pull, see how I'm pulling back against it this way? That seems to do less damage, or no damage, I should say. Okay, that was it.